We are live. This is the market update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. What you need is a strategy for dips in crypto. Want to get involved? Want to fade the bearish herd? You've come to the right place. If you need to do profit taking or you want in on a dip, we're going to go through the philosophy and the TA you need to get that done. If you need a roadmap in crypto in general, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. And if you like the content, please hit the thumbs up. We're shooting for 300 likes on a stream. Wrong again, here first. Welcome. Bull Runner, Lotmo Crypto, Richard Barry, let's go. Rugby Performance Labs, happy Friday. Jappy Finland, Raj, giving me the notorious love. We appreciate that. Okay, Samad wants to know when NFTs will start to moon. That is coming soon. Check Meta's stock price today, right? Or yesterday, Zuckerberg, Metaverse. It's coming. My guess is NFT moon is the Super Bowl, when the Super Bowl hopefully unveils some sort of metaverse connection. We talked about that yesterday. Wrong again says, is this the dip or the end? Actually, I think this is the prelude to the dip. Okay. Dips from here are going to be, well, stay tuned. I'll tell you. Huh? Love you. Love you too. Everybody here from Belgium, Mr. Moby Dick. Jappy is not selling. Zoran from Croatia is here, right? Notorious love from Quebec City. CryptoPath. Robin, dry powder ready, right? Raj got the Bark airdrop. That's right. If you hold GLDN, you get the water trading token, Bark. Bark, the future of infrastructure and water and blockchain and commodities. And that's why I work there. That's why I own it. That's why I'm in blue every chance I get. Chris Banjo, no cash available in Nigeria. We will give you an update on the Austin ice apocalypse. Very similar to what happened in Nigeria, but not the same. Trouble does not make an appointment. It doesn't. When trouble is upon you, even though you think you're ready, you're not. That's why it's called trouble. There's always a twist. Always. This includes rallies, crashes, weather events. You know, the only thing you really have is the belief in yourself and the belief in crypto. We're going to go more in depth into that. Language trainer. Welcome. Right? Donna is here. Yo. Shout out to Miss Donna. Rugby Performance Labs. Right? Ash 13LD, $40 billion meta buyback. You know, Cramer liked it, and then it crashed, and then Cramer was like, oh my God, he got upset. Poor guy. And the thing was like a generational low. You know, when you're in the metaverse, who are you talking to? Your friends from high school or AI? The metaverse is the AI play. It is. Okay. Wrong again says demand an apology from your mayor. I actually put that out on Twitter that he actually did apologize. You know, when the city of Houston has to come save the city of Austin, that should be shame enough when the Texans from Houston show up and go, oh, y'all having trouble getting the power turned back on? It's an example of be your own bank, be your own food bank, be your own water bank, be your own mutual fund, be your own hedge fund. Do it yourself, be free. Right? You can say, well, no one out there is going to help you. That's not very exciting television. Instead, you can say, there's a way you can help yourself, and wake up every morning and check your phone and say, I'm free. Your portfolio may be up or down, but a crypto portfolio helps make you free. One day, if cash machines don't work, You can go QR code to QR code on MetaMask like I did with my lovely girlfriend the other day, and boom, you've got an ETH-based transaction. More on Austin Icepocalypse in a minute. K-Real likes to show best crypto info on the web. I appreciate that. Feel free to tell your friends. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. All right. Now, let's do something we normally don't do. Let's fireside chat it, shall we? Okay. This week in crypto, Jim Cramer over here, top left, the guy who invented talking every day about markets on CNBC, okay, gets made fun of because he's been on a losing streak, but it's tough to talk on TV every day, right? And everybody loves to get on this guy. Like a recommended topic for today was, are you Jim Cramer's exit liquidity? In other words, does he say buy and then everyone buys and then he sells? Okay, so sometimes when, you're on a long losing streak, they start making up stories. What Jim Cramer really is a classic momentum investor. People in equities, they love to buy breakouts. They love it. They like buying breakouts, and then they buy any dip after that, right? Like you got paid for 15, 20 years longer to just buy every single dip in the stock market. Just buy every single dip. Charles Schwab didn't even call it buy the dip. They called it ignore the noise. Ignore the noise and just stay long and buy more when it's down. So Cramer sees a rally in January and he's like, buy the dip. It's going much, much higher. He actually might end up being right. I think it's more like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but people are too bearish stocks. Now, of course, everyone's going to laugh at Cramer because he had one good day yesterday and now stocks are down off this unbelievable payroll number, which we'll talk about and not talk about. Okay, now on his right, we have Charlie Munger. Okay, the U.S. should ban crypto. Now I'm looking at this and I'm like, you know what, bro? You made your money. You made your money. You got your easy chair. Why are you telling me whether or not I can have crypto or not? Right? Now, this dude is 80. He's 80 something. He could be 20 something. Should these guys, anybody, tell you what to do? Right? And if they do tell you what to do they know what they're talking about? Like by the time you might need an alternative form of money, or by the time people want to do a different type of tech investing, this guy's not going to be around anymore. Right? So this whole idea that we should ban anything, are we banning penny stocks? Because they got plenty of those too. You want to talk about degen, you can do all the degen you want in the stock market. So degen in the stock market is okay, but Bitcoin and Ethereum isn't. Come on. Now, Michael Burry says sell everything. That's this guy from The Big Short. Okay. Now he made a lot of money. He's got a great Twitter feed, right? He says we never learn, which is true. Now he says we're going to have a massive implosion in risk assets because we've made all the same mistakes we've made in the past. And Ray Dalio, who says Bitcoin is very interesting, but in no way useful, okay, which is at least a neutral opinion, he has something in common with Michael Burry. Both of these two guys in the bottom, they've made their money on blowups. Like Michael Burry made his money in 2008. He started making the bet in 2005, actually. So he was going to bet that the housing and mortgage-backed security market was going to blow up. Ray Dalio is fresh off an epic winning streak where they were short U.S. bonds and short the yen. Probably one of the biggest macro hedge fund like triumphs in terms of like timing it. They started doing this trade in 2020. Like they built the position for like a year and a half, and then they got a massive gratification. So it's tough to argue with this guy, but he needs an encore. And the encore is that there's going to be a gigantic implosion in the financial system. So if you want to get headlines and you want to be on Twitter, this is what you do, right? You call for a ban. You say Bitcoin's useless and there's going to be a gigantic crash, or you just say sell everything, right? None of this mentions Satoshi's vision. Like, even if Cramer is offsides and even if Cramer is always offsides, he's probably never going to be able to turn himself around in crypto. So Cramer wants to buy stocks. This guy wants to ban crypto. This guy doesn't think crypto is ever going to amount to anything, and this guy just wants to sell everything. What's missing? Something bullish. Now, these people are not stupid. So let's go the other direction. Cramer's like buy the dip. People can tell you to buy the dip. Do you know why no one ever buys the dip? Because the dips are so scary, they sort of force you out. Now, equities people tend to they tend to be less afraid of dips, but not after last year. Not after last year. And I'm wondering if the Dalios and the Michael Burrys are right in that for the rest of 2023, the game is going to be take advantage of flash crashes. In other words, a lot of these guys think it's a crisis where everything just goes all the way down and stays down. And if that's true, well, then I guess it's a really short market update. But the facts of the matter are, crypto is freedom. Now, here's another question. Will Ethereum stakers come out and unload as Ethereum gets unlocked? Maybe. Maybe. Will there be somebody to take their $1,400 Ethereum off their hands? In my opinion, oh yeah. Oh yeah. You show people the 2017 highs in Bitcoin or Ethereum, they're going to take it from you because this market trades like there's no supply. And one thing all these guys have in common is at one point or another, they've mentioned issues with the system. Their answer is kind of a crash or a ban or something negative. I have a better idea. How about a positive example? Let's own something that could trend higher this year that people are going to literally hand to you on dips. The catch is the dips could be nasty because that's the game going forward, right? The first dip was, it was a dip. And everyone's like, ooh. Then the next dip was before the Fed, which scared me. And it was like, oh God, can't buy it right before the Fed. And then it moved. Then there was sell the fact. Then there was sell the payroll number. And now we sit and wait. Wait for what? Well, we wait for somebody influenced by these people, most likely. Actually, let me rephrase that. Someone's going to leverage fears of a crash to push the market down to run stops, to try to get everybody to panic sell, and then they're going to hoover it up. They're just going to hoover it up. Now, who's going to hoover it up? Literally, I got this article. I saw this article just before I got on the air. The end of prosperity, how BlackRock is manipulating the West's economic downturn. Interesting, huh? For an economic forum, 2023 Davos conference said little about the destructive policies of the Western world's economic management. Again, who do you want to be in control? This guy or you? BlackRock or Ethereum? And is it a question of time before he admits he needs crypto, and he needs crypto. And God help us all when Cramer has to turn himself around. We are a long way away from that. Long way away. Meanwhile, back on the FUD ranch, the Senate Banking Committee is developing a bipartisan regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies. Well, thank God. Hopefully, we can do it all together. Hopefully. Okay, hopefully. I like this. Planned new FBI headquarters is twice the size of the Pentagon. And everyone's talking about selling Ethereum. Like, I see these things and I'm just like, no way. Meanwhile, on the Freedom Ranch, starting today, Twitter will share ad revenues with creators for ads that appear in their reply threads. Interesting, right? Somebody wants to actually pay you for the work that you do and disrupt Web 2 with Web 3 thinking. I mean, like, I'm not making this up. Like, this is happening. Elon is doing this as everybody is tripping over themselves to tell you that crypto is no good. Google invests $300 million in artificial intelligence startup. How long do you think it's going to take before somebody figures out that AI and the metaverse go together? And that the way to create the splashy headline is with AI and the metaverse? I mean, you know, you're going to ask an AI-based program, what's the best way to do e-commerce in the future? And it's going to say the metaverse. Again, a crypto theme that no one will talk about. And I'm going to be honest with you. I remember sell in May and go away from last year. I'm going to tell you right now, I did that all through April. I got on this stream every single day and said GTFO. And I tell you what, that got exhausting. Because they would rally the market, they would rally the market, they would rally the market. And I just was like, okay, don't let the fatigue wear you out. And I'm going to be honest, like every day I'm coming into this, like no one talking about the metaverse, everyone talking about selling, everyone talking about a crash. Meanwhile, it's kind of all right in front of your face. And it's like, I feel like, you know, they're going to wear me out. And then I'm like, no. Absolutely not. I'm not going to get worn out on this. They want to stop me out. They can stop me out, but I'm not going to let them wear me out. I'm not. Ex-App Store director, Apple had a problem with crypto from day one. Anybody who controls the world, I guess it's intoxicating to control the whole world. To be able to stand up in like a black t-shirt or something with one of those little cool, you know, Silicon Valley God microphones and just like do PowerPoint and make $1 billion. It must be intoxicating. I'm sure it is. The fact of the matter is Web 2, Apple, and all these guys who thought that they would rule the entire world forever, they didn't. If anything, they created the world where we actually need the metaverse. And ironically, they need the metaverse and crypto payments, because anybody who thinks that they're going to have an iPhone 5 years from now that isn't like an crypto super wallet is crazy. And sure, there's some expose that says Apple hated crypto. Sure. Everyone hates crypto who's at the top of the mountain. Right? Everybody at the top of the mountain hates crypto because they don't want to get knocked off the top of the mountain. There shouldn't be a mountain. That's the point. And that's why when people sell crypto, hopefully I'm going to be standing down there to take it from them. Now let's see who's in the chat. Okay, GKD32. The more money people have, the more they want to control other people. Exactly. Gary Gensler is here. Welcome, sir. Right? Somebody says AI and IoTech will go together. Wrong again says get paid by Twitter. Great idea. Right? The FBI story. Yeah, interesting, right? Language trainer like the Bark shorts. Yes, we have discovered that little on-scene filming from the Strategic Water Reserve for the Bark contract got people's interest. I'm actually going to South by Southwest, so we're going to be doing more man on the street content as well. Wrong again says Shanghai is bullish, not bearish. I actually agree. Somebody wants RNDR buy levels. That's Big Rich. Okay. And Arik is here from Israel in the Middle East. Welcome. Ronnie is also here. All right. Robert says there's a deep freeze coming in Jersey. We have Mark Williams from Down Under. This could be the coldest winter ever. So let's talk about that. Okay. Here is the mayor for the city of Austin. So a little story for you. Little fireside chat. You think you're ready, right? I'm into gold retriever. We're into gold. We're into water contracts. There are stories everywhere about water shortages. I got lots of bottled water in my house. I'm ready for anything, right? Wrong. So, city of Austin, Texas, real nice, happy place. It's kind of a blue enclave in an otherwise red state. And every year we have an ice storm, right? Some people get snow, we get ice. It rains, and then it quickly drops to like 20 degrees, and all the rain freezes. Now, this happened in 2021, where temperatures went down to the single digits. And that was a disaster because everybody turned up their heat and the grid couldn't handle it. And then everybody's pipes burst because it was too cold. And that was Snowpocalypse Part 1. 2 years later, we have Snowpocalypse Part 2, which is where it rained sideways. Okay. And the temperature dropped below 20 degrees at the same time. Not below 20 degrees, to 20 degrees at the same time. So when it rained, the rain literally froze on trees. So if this is a tree limb and this is a tree, this tree limb had a big block of ice on the end of it. It looked like a caveman's club. Because whatever parts of the tree were out there caught water and froze immediately. So guess what happened to the tree branches? They fell down. They fell down everywhere. They fell down on the power lines. So they were already at the electrical grid. Like, all right, be careful. Here comes everyone turning on their heat. Then it was like, whoops, that's not the problem. The trees fell on the power lines and we didn't have enough guys to sort it out. And the Austin mayor had to apologize because there are 100,000 people in Texas still without electricity. And it's a good thing Austin, Texas is filled with hippies. Because if you had this kind of stuff going on in other areas of Texas where people can defend themselves and get angry, that would be a mess. What are the lessons from this? One, the government is not there to save you. It is the primary job of the government to protect the people. But when it comes to your finances, you got to protect yourself. Freedom is very important. If you wait for these people to give you rights, you're going to wait a really long time. 2, it is very interesting how when the power goes out and you drive up and down a street and there are no lights and the tree branches are all down, or you sit in your house that is dark and you listen to the tree branches fall on your house or other people's houses, hoping there won't be a tree falling through your house, which harkens back to our friends in Ukraine who have not only been in the dark for a year with no water, but they've also got the Russians shelling them and house-to-house fighting as their background noise at night. People go, wow, this is scary. I'm like, yeah, it's scary how fast it goes from normal to whatever, because trouble doesn't make an appointment. Now, segueing that back into our talk, trouble and things that cause dips don't make an appointment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have orders beneath. I just onboarded my girlfriend into crypto, lovely woman, right? If there's a flash dip, she's not going to have to think about it. The orders are going to be in. Because when the flash dips occur and they're scary, you're going to have to act quick. Now, back to scary. What do you think is going to happen one day when the ATM machines don't work? Or what do you think is going to happen one day when you can't predict the next crash, problem, whatever? You know, these guys who want all this bad stuff to happen, okay? Everybody who's like, oh, well, let's have a crash. Let's have a blow up. You know, let's have, you know, like Cramer and not Cramer, like Dalio and all these other guys. Sorry. Be careful what you wish for, boys, because something weird could happen, and it could be so weird, you might need crypto. So, ice, storms. I was very popular. I live in a different kind of area here in Austin. We don't have trees, so we didn't have to worry about it. Okay? But the people who did worry about it, like, wow, I didn't have enough gas. Gas ran out quick. I got some last night. Everywhere was out. I knew like the secret gas station. I went to a hidden Target and loaded up on food because the shelves were empty. So they may turn the power back on, but are the shelves going to be stocked? Like these problems, they have like ripple effects. They have ripple effects. Now, be your own bank. Got crypto, got ETH, got Bitcoin. You're going to listen to everybody who's telling you to get out? You can. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get in. Right? And if I'm wrong, then we can have the I'm wrong show. Or we can have the I'm wrong shows. And people can call in and curse me off. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to make the mistake of getting bearish after a major reversal when people are still in the disbelief phase. That's what I'm not doing. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. Now let's talk about this jobs report. So amazing. Big companies are laying people off, but 517,000 jobs got added and unemployment is at a 53-year low. And here's the good news. Jerome Powell can finally calm down because Chick-fil-A finally hired all the people it needed to hire. Thank goodness we don't have to listen to this tight labor market lecture anymore, right? Everybody who needed to go out and get a job got a job. Everybody needed to pay their bills because of inflation, so they went out and got jobs. Great. Now the Fed can really chill out, okay? Because the labor market has sorted itself out. The people who needed jobs don't have to bid wages up anymore. There was a market clearing price for labor, thank God. So everyone's like, well, I'll get long when the macro shifts. Okay, the macro just shifted and everybody wants to sell. Really? Okay, let's go to the TA. Okay, so before we go to the TA, we can say we have a counterpoint. We have Ukrainians have been shelling other Ukrainians for the last 9 years, reminding you that all geopolitical situations are way more complicated than you might think. Don't take the freedom you have for granted. Don't take the freedom you have for granted. Because yes, geopolitical situations are complicated. Two sides are fighting. Two sides are fighting for a reason. Rob Mack reading from the Gold Coast. Fernando with the notorious love. Joe Mike is here from Tampa. Lawn Shark is in the house with some sheepdog love. Appreciate that. Okay? Appreciate that. Ahmed, transitioning from analog millionaires to digital millionaires. Please tell Charlie Munger. Right. Right. And Wolf Stigma goes, what freedom? Well said. Don't feel free? Tune into the market update. They can still hear me. I'll still broadcast. Right? Tune into the market update. Hit the like button. Right? You got to believe in crypto, and you got to believe in it when they want to flush you out of it or talk you out of it. It's a good thing I can talk a lot. I will not talk you out of crypto. I will tell you to get out if I think it's going lower, or I will tell you some navigation. So let's go to navigation. So we're going to almost do this live TA style. Now, this is Bitcoin daily, right? So here's a 13 top. That should mean the trend should end or pause. Okay. Bitcoin runs up to a logical kind of blow off top point at 24, and it starts to come off. And there's support at 22.7. Everyone will likely see this candle and say, I want to get out. Okay. Now, when they go to get out, where's it going to go? Well, maybe it'll go to 21,400. That was the high of the previous fourth wave. What you want to be set up for is any type of flash dip. In other words, when you see this, when people see red like this or like this, they're going to think of the bear market. They're going to be like, oh my God, here we go. We're going to zero. Now, the 1-year anniversary of the Ukraine war is coming up. Could things blow up? Yeah. Could people, could Ethereum come out of staking and people go, oh my God, thank God it was at 800. Now it's at 1600. I'm getting out. Yes, they could do that. But what I think is really going to happen is people are going to see these grotesque red candles. They're going to panic sell right into support, or it's going to go through support. Then everyone's really going to freak out. Then it's going to come back. And who knows? That may happen multiple times throughout the month of February. So I'm developing a new theme, right? Back in April, it was get out on rallies. In February and March, it's get in on dips. This, of course, assumes you have dips. Okay, for the moment, I'm going to assume we are. Okay, let's go to Ethereum daily. Okay, now, same type of action. You've got the 13 top, but man, Ethereum wants to stay green, right? They go to take profits in this thing, and they push it up, and then they push it back down, but it hangs in there. God, I would love it if the GAN work was right, and this thing just hit 1,700 and just went. But that may be too much crypto Kool-Aid. Okay? That may be too much crypto Kool-Aid. Although, I wouldn't mind it. I'm not going to talk myself out of my bullish position, because you could have 6 more constructive up days based on this DeMark structure. You could. But I want people to be prepared. I don't want you to buy the top. I want you to buy it in case the crash mongers scare everybody out of their positions. Now, on the subject of the crash mongers, okay, let's try to bring a little like maybe weekly TA into this. Crash mongers are never right. They're never, I'm sorry. Sometimes they're right, but they're always early. They're always early. If there's going to be a decline in Ethereum, I mean, this is like a band structure I developed. I mean, do we want to be selling Ethereum down here on the band, like at the lower end, or do we want to sell it up here at 3,000 or 2,400? Right? Crashes don't occur when everyone expects a crash. Crashes occur when no one expects a crash. Everybody in 2007 thought there was going to be a soft landing, and it turned out to be an epic crisis. Calling a crisis has become fashionable, right? It's become like this intellectual high ground. Like it's a climate crisis, therefore you have to do what I tell you. It's a financial crisis, therefore we have to ban crypto, right? Or whatever. I understand. Like these people who say these things, they're not stupid. There probably will be some sort of problem in legacy. But that's a dip buying opportunity in crypto, just like COVID was a medical and societal problem that wound up massively benefiting crypto. And of course, no one has mentioned the fact that, The Fed is eventually going to have to support financial markets again. Now, they've hiked rates. Inflation is done, right? Okay. Kathy Jones, a Schwab analyst, one of the best bond market analysts ever. Average hourly earnings, the trend is not accelerating. Inflation is a prolonged and continuous rise in prices. Wages are the price of people. The price of people year over year is rolling over. It's not a prolonged and continuous rise in wages. The Fed can actually support the markets in the event it needs to. So if there is a problem, whether it's in March or October, the Fed can actually support the markets because they've calmed down with all this awful tightening rhetoric. Okay, back to altcoins and ETH. Okay, Ocho says, what flavor Kool-Aid? Stay tuned. I'll check at the grocery store. Okay, we have live from Australia. Welcome. You know, it would be really funny if Cardano just broke out because other altcoins are breaking out. Yesterday, we talked about alt season. Okay. Where's my Optimism diamond? Don't have it here. Optimism up 10%, new high. Okay. Phantom up 4%. Polkadot rushing to one of my targets at 7.2. Somebody said, is Polkadot dead? I was on a show last night with Dylan LeClaire. You want the one sentence market update? Don't sleep on this market. Don't. Because you'll wait for a dip in Polkadot. You won't get it. It'll gap higher. You think Bitcoin's going to the moon? It is, but it might flash dip on some geopolitical event. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, Wrong Again says, now in the past, there have been second waves of inflation. Yes, there have been. That's probably after the Fed has to come in and is forced. They probably won't cut rates, but they're forced to have to do QE again because of whatever problem that's going to develop. It may wind up being geopolitical. Okay, it may be geopolitical. Okay, I think we need to correct an error from yesterday. This is Harmony. Okay, somebody was asking for this. They may not have had the right ticker. So someone's asking about how Harmony is doing. This is a 4-hour chart. Okay, this is another great lesson in crypto. So you look at this and you're like, well, it's gone from 0.008 to 0.02. The rally must be over. Then you look at where it came from. And really what this looks like is the bigger the base, the higher in the space. What does that mean? It means the market goes down. Then the market forms a square. And then it just goes right back where it came from. This is why when they flash crash stuff, if they flash crash it, because everyone's calling for everything. Like Cramer says, buy the dip, and everyone else says a crash. So I kind of put it all together, and you buy the flash events. And who knows how many times that could happen? Once, twice, 3 times, maybe enough time to scare people out of the market. Right? Bull markets scare you away. In bear markets, people aren't scared enough until the bear shows up, and then it's fugly. Right? Okay, Wolf Stigma says, I'm riding Harmony. I'm on the pony and I'm not getting off. Cool. You know, I mean, I know this is going to sound crazy coming from me, but Crypto 007, say no more is here. It's going to sound crazy, but you know what? I'm not opposed to being a pig. Like, there's a time and a place to be a pig. When you're doing a high conviction trade, because this is what I remember from equities. Like, what is the value proposition of listening to me versus somebody else? Well, other people may have knowledge about certain parts of crypto, but I remember the last time we came off a major depressing low. Like, I got told in 2008, shut up, go to your bunker. We do not want to hear any more bearish TA from you. And then this thing turned around, and I saw hedge funds make unbelievable amounts of money, and also simultaneously make my boss look like a genius because he would talk to them about what they thought about the market. And every single dip, no matter how ugly it was, they bought stocks. 2009, 2010, 2011. And then they held it all through a range in 2014. Like, nothing got them out. Not sharp dips, not boredom, not anything. They just held it. Just high conviction all the way. Stan Druckenmiller did the same thing. Ray Dalio did the same thing with short bonds and short the yen. Guys with high conviction who get in early and say, come get me, they're the ones who make the money and wind up in market wizards. Now, I'm trying to pull that with crypto. We'll see what happens. Okay. You know, I'm looking at GLMR here. It depends on how you look at it, but it feels the same thing, right? It's like taking a basketball and putting it underwater, and they push it down and push it down and push it down. And that basketball just won't stay underwater, and then they let it go and it pops straight up and out. In other words, we have gotten to the point in the crypto cycle where we switch from why should I buy an altcoin to why not buy an altcoin? Why not? All these guys who are calling for a crash, they say, okay, we're going to crash, we're going to burn, and that's it. But that's not how nature works, right? When something crashes or a forest burns down, the next day, there's new growth coming up, right? If the old is out, well, okay, maybe, probably, it should be. Hey, that's why we invented crypto, right? Mr. Moby Dick, the Druck is an absolute legend. He is an absolute legend. He is an absolute legend. Absolutely. Joe Mike wants to look at CRV. Okay, let's go to an intraday chart on CRV. Okay, so this reminds me of kind of some of the structures we drew in Optimism. Got to find the Optimism diamond. I think in CRV, if you're above $1.10, $1.33 is possible. I've seen this all year. Right? It rallies a lot. Everyone's like, oh God, thank God I can get out. And then they sell and it doesn't go down. It doesn't go down. I'm determined to pull up Optimism now. Okay, I'm gonna redraw. I'm gonna draw it live. So I had it, and for some reason I can't pull it up, but don't worry, I'm going to draw it again anyway. This is the 4-hour chart of Optimism. One of the only diagonal formations that works really well in crypto is the diamond formation. Okay, and when you have a diamond formation, and I saw this in equities during the QE era all the time. It was either diamonds or expanding ranges, right? Like this, where it was like an expanding triangle. Okay, that's not what we have here, but I'm just sort of freestyle drawing it. When you have a diamond, when you break out of the pattern, it's explosive. That is, this is like out of a book, this pattern. And this is a market leader in crypto. And we're going to watch this thing form a diamond and go up 10%, and we're going to sell crypto? Really? Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. A Better Shot Inc. says, stay warm in the ice storms. Not just stay warm, stay ready. Stay ready. Friday close. Let's look at something weekly in total too. So for all the noise, total 2 hasn't done anything, at least this week. But one thing I'm noticing is, and this is what the Cardano chart looks like. Okay. Exactly what Cardano looks like. And I'm glad total 2 looks the same way. So we have a rally. Everyone misses it. Right? No, let's start here. Capitulative selling, FTX. Capitulate, capitulate, capitulate. Rally, rally. Everyone misses it. And then every time it goes down, 1, 2, 3. Every time it goes down, somebody's buying big altcoins. Total 2 is total crypto market cap minus Bitcoin. So am I to believe that this is going to just turn around and go down? Okay, we're at resistance. Don't buy resistance. Okay. Right? That's probably why everyone's buying the dip. And if you get some sort of flash event, okay, it's going to go. And here's a more radical notion. What happens if you do something like this? You pop out of here, right? Everyone goes, oh, there's not going to be a dip. Then you get the flash event down here, and then it goes. Like, I'm not opposed to that scenario. Remember how I said that even if you're ready, you're not ready? Even if you're ready, you're not ready. Even if you think there's gonna be a flash dip, you don't know if the flash dip is gonna be now or from much higher levels. I'm guessing you're gonna have a flash dip next week. That's a guess, right? In other words, if everyone's looking for a big weekend rally and they don't get it, there might be a flash dip. Then again, maybe you just wake up and everything follows optimism. Like I'm watching this and I'm watching optimism up on a day when the dollar index is up 1%, which I hate because I was all on my high horse about the dollar never rallying again. So I got inverse. I got inverse notorious on that. Okay. Let's go back to Bitcoin, down 1%. Okay, somebody wants to look at LRC. I can do that. Crypto Crazy says Bitcoin dominance rolled over. Okay. So I'm thinking, hello from Montreal. Hello. I'm thinking it's ETH spring, the Bitcoin summer. Okay. So this is a profit-taking candidate. You have a 13 top. You have a blow-off to the blow-off top level in DeMark. If it takes out 43 cents, it's gone. So just to remember where this thing came from. Sometimes with this, I might be inclined to take profits out of this and put it somewhere else. But if you've been suffering and holding this thing, just hold it, because if this is the bigger the base, the higher in the space. My God, this base was was all of last year. So we can get all caught up in the fact that everyone is headed for the door. Okay. No, you got trapped in a position and you want to get out. Everybody who got smoked here. Okay. But what's the operative formation? This or this? And how many altcoins look like this? Now, this D wave is not exactly, is debatable. But man, when I see this, man, this looks like 2019, where stuff just got destroyed and it just sat there. Just got destroyed. Right? How many altcoins are out there like this? I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, one thing I like to always use, because I think it was the first coin that, I don't know. I think Synthetix was the thing that really ignited everything in 2020. Here's what you got to remember about Synthetix, right? Because I remember both of these moves. So we're coming off a horrendous bear market. DeFi summer, July 2020, Synthetix goes from $2.42 to $7. Then Synthetix turns around and goes from $7.80, like up here. Bitcoin maximalists were calling altcoin guys, like the company I was working at, going, okay, all right, what token should I buy? That's how violent it rallied, right? Hadn't seen anything like that in altcoins in a way long time. Then, of course, after that happens, it just goes straight down. And in brutal fashion, like down, oh, there's hope, down, oh, there's hope, down, oh, there's hope, oh, there's no hope at all. And it goes to 2.5. And I swear to God, that November, we thought it was the end of the world. Like, you're like, Bill, wait a minute. You're telling me you went from all the way up and all the way back down. And even though you were net where you started from, it felt like the end of the world. It did. It felt like the absolute end of the world. And then look what happened. You had a monster uptrend. Now, it didn't start right away, right? So it took a month to build up steam. This is Synthetix. Like, this is the crypto history that people may be forgetting, right? Like, okay, you're right. All the way up, all the way back, but it took a while. But then once people were like, oh, wait a minute, this thing went straight up. Straight up. Now, is this the future? I don't know. These guys have to get their tokenomics together, I guess. But this is how crypto moves when everybody goes from I love it to I hate it. And then they go back to I love it again. Like, how about let's do Polkadot weekly? Like, everyone's like, oh, Polkadot. Oh, what happened? It was like, Polkadot, I can't buy it. It's up too much. It's up 6%. I can't buy it. Really? Can you even see the move for today on this chart? Polkadot's gone from 2 to 50 to 10 to 54 to 4. And now it's at 7. And you're telling me the future of connecting one blockchain to another is somehow not interesting. Looks like a willy-nilly breakout to me. And it looks kind of classic because this is what they do, right? They ram it through the triangle. They ram it through the trend line. And then they bring it back down. They ram it through the trend line. They bring it back down. Right? Everybody goes, oh, that's the top. And then boom, it's gone. Right? This is why I'm telling you, don't sleep on this market. Don't sleep on this market. I wish I thought of that. Dylan LeClaire, don't sleep on this market. Don't. Okay. Okay, so to focus in, sorry, right? This is where they ram it higher and they drop it and then they rally it. This is very typical bull market, right? These moves where they ram it and bring it all the way back, sometimes that is the dip. Okay? Spin wants to see a retest. That's fine. You know, you may get these flash events. You want to know where they're having a flash event right now? Pax. Let's go to Pax. I brought this up in the Gold Retriever private webinar that you're basically having a gold flash crash, right? Gold did nothing but go up, and now everybody's in a hurry to sort of sell the fact. You have a 13 bottom and a 9 bottom on the 4-hour chart. So here's your prototype, right? Down, all the way back up, down. Like, how many people do you think this is washing out? This is painful, right? This is washing everybody out who bought it basically this year. They're washing everybody out. You have 500,000 Russian troops headed for Ukraine. And they're selling gold like there's no tomorrow because of some stupid payroll number. Chick-fil-A was able to hire a bunch of people. Therefore, gold is not the reserve currency of the world. Right? You know, algos read a number and sell. And all these things that happen off these numbers, you know, the first reaction is not always correct. Just like when the Fed did 25 basis points and Powell backed off, that there wasn't an immediate gratification rally. There was some sell the fact. Fine. What everyone's going to do is everyone's going to go home, everyone's going to digest this, and everyone's going to figure out that macro is no longer in the way. And then there's going to be a flash dip off something, and that's an opportunity. The alternative scenario is that there's no flash dip at all, right? In other words, that it just goes. And there's no flash dip until after it rallies. So how do you manage that? Well, I think you got to have a core position. You know, like, got my girlfriend into some GLDN. She's going to hold some ETH. She's going to get some Bitcoin, right? Get something. Because if this thing just takes off and goes to 27K and you don't have it, you'll never sleep at night again. If these little red candles in Bitcoin scare you out, like they shouldn't have scared you out at 21. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these down days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down days. 1, 2, 3 down days. This box, if Bitcoin stays in this box, it can go higher. You want some now. This is what I'm doing for me and my girlfriend. Some now, some later. You know, even if they take it up to 27, okay, fine. Maybe you take profits up there, but then that next big dip, that's where you want to be. And the thought process now is, how do you leverage other people's bearishness and crash rhetoric to pick this up at the best levels possible? Right? So we're reading the chart in a new way. Right? We're saying, all right, you know, if they killed it tomorrow, where would I grab it? Like in Bitcoin, it's probably 22,743. Right? Very simple, right? It goes up, it makes a big high at 24,000, and then it goes A, B, C. Perfect little correction. Like, you let it correct, you grab some. If flash crashes, you grab some more. Hold the Door says, love from Oklahoma. Smash the likes. Wrong again says, I'm not selling until 28K. I couldn't have said it better. Right? I could not have said it better. Okay, Wrong again says, hasn't gold been leading the market? Yes, it has. It has. Right? I think it's leading the market in the sense that it's giving you a very, very good example of what happens when people bail on a trend too early. This is to be determined, right? So the target of the Head and Shoulders bottom pattern in Pax, I had 1970. And everybody bailed early. The target is up here. So an overbought condition has been relieved with the stochastics. It might take a day or two. So what? Gold is doing a completely normal retracement. I mean, it hasn't even retraced 23% of the rally. You want it to retrace 23% of the rally so you can grab it. In other words, there's a mentality on dips like, oh, God, it's dipping. Okay, I understand that. If you own it, it's your P&L. I know. But as an analyst who's trying to put like a high conviction framework together, red is good. Red is good. PIVX. Okay. Right, so this is an example of where they did not have punch at resistance. So they kind of ran in fear. Is that fear justified? So either this was hype and then die, or it's going to come back. The thing I'm not crazy about with this is that, when it spikes like this, it doesn't have follow through. Right now, of course, with stuff like this, this is PVIX weekly. Just, kind of always bringing it back to something constructive. If you believed in this and there was ever a fundamental God candle that changed things, you would have a lot of people, or you would have a lot of evidence that people are all sold out. This is another theory I have in small altcoins. Is there anyone left to sell? Anyone? Is there anyone left to sell in whatever coins we're talking about? We know, I think, there's no one left to sell in Bitcoin. Ethereum stakers may sell in ETH. Maybe. Okay, Audius. Okay, let's go to DeMark on Audius. Let's go to a daily chart. Check this out. Okay, so what has Audius done? Very simply, it's taken out the previous fourth wave. So it went above the start of the previous give up trade, and looky, the previous ceiling is now the floor. This is a constructive development in Audius. Helium. Okay, let me make sure my data is good here. Okay. So Helium, the venture capitalists sold it. They crushed it. The give up trade was up here. So you would think Helium could go to $5. My opinion about this is maybe there's a better play out there. Like, this did unwind some of the most severe selling, and it would be great if this went to $5. It could. It could. Okay. Okay. Okay, reading something here from Crypto Future. Absolutely not. Does the world need all the cryptos? Probably not. Right? But why? But still, why exchange bring in such cryptos dividing world money? Okay, so Crypto Future is saying there are gazillions of cryptocurrencies that get listed on exchanges, and we don't need them all. You're right, we don't. There are gazillions of stocks that are listed, and we don't need them all. We don't. However, what can happen is, and if we go back to, like, say, Ethereum, a universe of shitcoins tells you that we feed people, or we trick people into thinking, not we, exchanges, venture capitalists, whoever. They'll feed you all the junk you can eat, just like big sugar in the food industry. But the meat and the vegetables will help keep you healthy. The meat and the vegetables is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, the new FAANG. Like, yes, we don't need 22,000 shitcoins. But in the equity market, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, and Microsoft drove the equity market for 10 years. Who will be the next FAANG? How about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, Optimism, Solana, and 2 other coins? Cardano. How about it? The world needs crypto. You need to be free. You need to make money. The world needs a way to make money. You can have a crash in legacy in March or October. You can have a crash in legacy at any moment. The question is, can you make money in crypto while the uptrend is your friend? Right now, the uptrend is your friend. I can get dogmatic about what happens later. I can play with the crystal ball. But when the trend is your friend, stay with the trend. If you get a flash crash and they try to scare you out of the trend, don't get scared out of the trend. If you get stopped out, if I get stopped out, okay, fine. We'll find a new trade. We'll find a new view. But the weekend message is the trend is your friend. The trend is your friend. The other trend that is your friend is the government ineptitude that occurred off the Austin ice storms. Okay? Be prepared, not scared. Stole that, not stole that, borrowed that from a guy, Divvy Daddy, in Economic Preppers. Prepared, not scared. Prepared for the flash dip in crypto. This is Bill Noble. I will see you Monday.